Good morning all. More posts. So it's Postbag. I think it's number 98, isn't it? Right, let's get straight into this first one. Looks a little bit Alice-y, but it might not be. I don't know. Okay, what's that? Right, this appears to be two orders that have been bundled together, because as well as this module, I've actually got 10 chips here. Let's have a quick look at those first. Right, these are 10 pieces LM13700. Now these are dual transconductance op-amps. They're for the vocoder project. I bought them because the vocoder project uses LM13600, and then the LM13700 came out, which was improved in some way. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I've read that the LM13700 is better for audio applications. So what I wanted to do was get these before they become unavailable. So I'll put the LM13600s in the vocoder. I've got 10 of these as well. I think it's going to take 7. And then I might experiment with putting these in and just seeing whether they sound any different. Yeah, so these are 10 pieces LM13700, integrated circuit LM13700. They are dual transconductance op-amps. They're used in voltage-controlled amplifier circuits primarily, although they can be used as voltage-controlled filters and voltage-controlled oscillators and that sort of thing. $5.16 for 10 pieces, free shipping, and these came from CZB, CZB, I suppose I should say, really, 672-1960. But this is the thing that I've really been looking forward to, because this is going to be the start of a brand new project. It's a Bluetooth, let's get rid of that, it's a Bluetooth receiver, or transceiver I suppose it is, audio, but it's the latest version. It's Bluetooth 4, and there's an audio amplifier on here. It's class D, so there are no heat sinks. It's stereo, so we've got 2 speaker outputs, and we've got a DC 2.1mm jack in. Now this is also the slightly upgraded version that has an aux in. I'm just going to zoom in a bit. So there are various different versions of this on eBay. There are versions with different power ratings for the amplifier chip here. What chip is that again? Yeah, TDA 7492P, I think it is. This Bluetooth module, there are some of these modules, these boards floating about which have the Bluetooth, I think it's 2.1 or something, audio standard, but this is the Bluetooth 4, so I think there are additional features. Now interestingly, it's got play, back, next, and volume up and volume down. The volume up and volume down you can see would be connected through to the power amplifier chip to take the volume up and down. Oh, maybe it isn't. Maybe it does actually. These lines, they do appear to be all routed back to this module. So I'm just wondering, for play, back, and next, this module has to talk to whatever is sending music. So that'd be your phone or something. So this must be a two-way, obviously a two-way transmission. But these signals must be sent back to the playing device so that it can go to the next track or back a track or that sort of stuff. Volume up and down, yes, they might actually not be connected to this. They might actually be on this module, and they cause the volume to go up and down on the transmitting device. There are some of these modules floating about which don't have the aux input. Now the aux input, I think, well, I wanted it particularly for things like my vocoder project, because this is going to be turned into a Bluetooth speaker. So you connect the 2 speakers to here. I've already ordered 2 speaker drivers, 2¼ inch I think they are, and mount it all in a box and then power it somehow. And that somehow is the interesting bit. Yeah, so it was on one of my recent supercapacitor videos, this one, supercapacitors and a solar panel, that Stefan Batrinash said, now where is it? Yes, he said, I saw a Bluetooth speaker commercial. They're claiming that the speaker runs on supercapacitors and it lasts up to 6 hours. Yes, and I thought, that sounds interesting. Let's build a Bluetooth speaker that runs on supercapacitors. Let's actually look at the Bluetooth speaker that Stefan is referring to. And I'm pretty sure it's this. It's on Crowd Supply, and it's by a company called Blue Shift. And they've got two of these speakers, the Helium, which looks like their first one. And in fact, they're claiming it's the first supercapacitor powered portable speaker. And then a next generation one called Hydrogen. Now, the Helium appears to have a Class B amplifier, I think it is, but the Hydrogen has a Class D. And of course, the module I've just bought has a Class D. So let's look at this Hydrogen speaker. Right, so here it is, Hydrogen next generation supercapacitor powered portable speaker. If we scroll down to some product specifications, this one charges in 5 minutes, so I'm going to have to try and copy that spec. Can play for more than 4 hours, 3-inch full range driver. Well, I've got 2.25-inch drivers, I think, 2 of them. I'm going to build a stereo one. Class D amplifier, ported bamboo cabinet. Mine will probably be nasty bit of chipboard or something. Now, of course, they're saying that you can charge this thing 500,000 times, but that's more about how many charge cycles supercapacitors have, and how in that respect they're better than lithium cells, which I think are only rated for about 500 charge cycles. Now, I'm not quite sure how much this hydrogen costs, but you can see here that the helium mono is $450 and the helium stereo is $550. So although I'm not claiming that I'm going to build anything that rivals this speaker in terms of, well, beauty, quality, spec, and all that stuff, certainly going to try and tackle it on price. And in terms of price, this module is a good start. Let's take a look at this on eBay. Okay, so this is an aux interface, which means it's got that aux socket. 2x25 watt. Now you can get these modules in 2x50 watt, but I didn't see any point doing that because my speakers, I think, are only rated at 15 watts. Bluetooth 4.0. As I say, there are quite a few of these modules floating about that are the older Bluetooth spec. Audio digital power amplifier board using the TDA 7492P. Might look at that datasheet in a moment. But it's only $8.95, which I thought was pretty reasonable. Free shipping, CZB 6721960. Right, so here it is, TDA 7492P. It's a 25 watt plus 25 watts, so it's two 25 watt channels, dual BTL class, Bluetooth light, is that Bluetooth low energy? I think that might mean, yeah. Class D audio amplifier. No, it can't be Bluetooth because this chip's not got any Bluetooth in it. I don't know what BTL means. Anyway, BTL Class D audio amplifier. Okay, so 25 plus 25 watts, continuous output power, 10% distortion. VCC equals 20 volts, and the speaker load is 8 ohms. But look at this, a very wide range single supply operation, 8 to 26 volts. And that's what made me think that this would be suitable for supercapacitors. Now, the 6 capacitor modules that I've got have a nominal voltage of 16.2. So I'm thinking of going for 8 capacitors in series to start at a higher voltage, and then you can drain them all the way down to 8 volts before this thing's going to start playing up. 4 selectable fixed gain settings of those dBs, and I think they're on the dual dip switch that's on that board. Yeah, so on this module you've got this dual dip switch here, and I'm pretty sure that must be routed through to the 2 pins that select the 4 selectable gain settings. So actually this thing doesn't have a volume control as such, because I'm pretty sure that volume up and volume down, these 2 buttons, actually talk to this module, and that talks back to the sending device. So this just has 4 gain settings. It seems these days that volume controls are not actually needed. And here's a sneak peek at my purchase history on eBay, and you can see at the bottom here that I've got 2 pieces of these 700 farad supercapacitors. Now these are 2.5 volt, so they're a bit lower voltage than the 2.7s that you normally get. So I've also bought some of these protection boards which actually just sit on top of these capacitors. It's just a single protection board, 2.5 volt, and this one's also 2.5 volt. Can't quite remember why I bought these. Oh, I might have bought more of these, I can't remember. But yeah, 8 in total of these capacitors. Now they're 2 for $15, which I thought was pretty reasonable. And I think what's happened is because these are 2.5 volts, they've dropped in price. When you look up the 2.7 volt 700 farad capacitor, it's some ridiculous price of $50 or something like that. So yeah, these have become affordable, but they are 2.5 volts. Now if I have 8 of those, that's going to result in 20 volts, or possibly a little bit more than that, depending on where these protection boards kick in. So that'll be a good starting point for the Bluetooth audio amplifier. Right, next up is this one, PCB, $15. That's quite a lot, isn't it? And there's a big red splodge on here. I think that's ink. I'm pretty certain that's ink. Right, let's have a look at what's in here. And yeah, they are PCBs. So yeah, these are prototyping PCBs that are laid out almost exactly in the same format as one of those MB102 breadboards. And what I wanted these for is actually the vocoder. Recently I built some sections of the vocoder on breadboards. These aren't MB102s, but I can copy this layout. And one of the things I found difficult to find on eBay, yeah, there are a few of these prototyping PCBs which are sort of similar copies to breadboards on eBay, but a lot of them don't have the 5 holes in a row on these pads. A lot of them seem to have 4 or 3, which is really bizarre, because if you've gone to all the trouble of laying out a piece of circuitry like these filters using these 5 holes, and then your prototyping PCB only has 4, you're going to have real problems copying or moving the components from the breadboard over onto these boards. Let's go on eBay and just search for these things and take a look at the problem. Right, so I've typed in the 2 words prototype and breadboard, and I'm getting sort of prototyping PCBs that are a bit like breadboards. This one here is amazing. That's enormous. 150 by 185, $9.90. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. It's this sort of thing which you can buy, but this has got a really strange arrangement of holes. 2 there, 5, then 3, and then 4. That's just not like a breadboard. Let's carry on down. Oh, I didn't see that one. That's quite nice. Fairly expensive. What's this thing? Pairs of holes. That's a bit strange. And then this one. Now it has the 5 holes and 5 holes, but I don't think that's 3/10 across there. Let's take a closer look at that. Yeah, so this one's certainly cheap. I mean, for 99 cents, you get 5 of these boards. And it's got, well, here we are, there's a bigger picture. 5 holes at the top there. I can't move my pointer there. Well, anyway, 5 holes there, 5 holes there. But that gap across the middle is not 300 mils. It's not 3/10 of an inch. It's 2/10 of an inch. So that's just not quite right. It's a bit bizarre. And there's another one here. This is a single board for 99 cents, but it is enormous. But again, look at the layout. Yes, we've got 3/10 of an inch between the strips, but they're only 4 holes long over the entire board. There's not a single strip on there, which is 5 holes long. So I'm not going to be able to lift something out of my breadboard and put it onto this board. All these boards are just a bit wrong. So in the end, I went for this. It's 10 pieces, that size, strip board, prototype paper circuit board, breadboard Vero PCB, but quite expensive. 10 pieces for $15.89. I mean, that's almost $1.60 per board. You can certainly buy these a lot cheaper, but not which are a faithful reproduction of an MB102 breadboard. So this was the one I had to go for. Free shipping, and these came from Victory 7715. So I think I'll probably leave these in their cling film for the time being, to to try and lessen the tarnishing of the copper. So yeah, the plan here really was to prototype more of the vocoder on breadboard and then simply lift it off the breadboard and put it on these boards, which I can use exactly the same layout, and then mount lots of these boards on an enormous piece of wood or something like that. So yes, I'm planning to carry on building the vocoder on that front panel that I've got with those green prototyping boards, but I might build a second one all laid out, all visible, with lots of LEDs, lots of bar graph VU meters. It's going to look awesome. Well, and sound awesome. Right, next package is this one. Let's see what's in here. Right, well, these aren't very high tech. They're just USB Type A plugs, I suppose they are, to a 4-pin breakout PCB. That's all they are. Yeah, so these are little PCBs just with the 4 wires routed out to a 0.1 inch pitch header there. Ground, V bus or VCC 5 volts, D plus and D minus, and I only want ground and VCC. Let's break that in half and I'll show you what I'm going to do with it. Yeah, so what this is for, it's for the PIC based NeoPixel lightsaber project. Now I got to this point, didn't I, where the line of light runs up this line. It's actually going the wrong way because this is the starting point and there's a missing pixel there, but that can all be sorted out. What I wanted to do with this, I can use these 2 screw holes to screw that down at the end of the board, and it just so happens that 5 volts is on that side, which lines up with the positive of the NeoPixels, and ground is on that side, so power can be routed directly out to the NeoPixel strip. But it actually gets better than that. If you look on this prototyping board for the PIC, you can see that VDD is on pin 1 and ground is actually on pin 8. So if I bring that up to the chip, then it should be possible to take the chip off this board, mount it in an 8-pin socket, and actually drop pin 1 into that hole on this board, having also routed that through to the NeoPixel strip, and pin 8 onto the ground point. So the PIC chip can actually sit on the edge of this board coming out this way. Its output pin, this one here, pin 5 it is, GP2, will go to the middle pin on the NeoPixel strip, because that's the NeoPixel signal, goes directly to the middle pin on that blue wire there. So yeah, it just means that there can be a very neat arrangement of the power connector, the chip itself, and the NeoPixel strip. I'll probably have to move that strip down. So we'll have this connector, the PIC, then there'll be a push button because you need to push the button to send the line of light out along the NeoPixel strip and release it to have the line retract again. But yeah, that all lays out neatly and everything fits and everything's the right way round. Awesome. So on eBay, these are 5 pieces, Type A male USB to DIP 4, 4-pin, 2.54mm power supply adapter module. 5 pieces for $1.97, free shipping, and these came from Best Elects. Right, last one is this box. I don't actually know what this is. I think it's been hanging around for quite a while. It just says power module. So I'm going to cut this box quite neatly because I keep these boxes because they make quite a good storage system. Well, a cheap storage system. Right, what's in here? Well, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I think this is a component tester. That says 80 Mega 328p, and that's a ZIF socket. And I'm pretty sure there's a little button top there. Pretty sure there's an LCD in here. Let's take some. Yeah, there's the ZIF socket. I think that is an LCD module. So yeah, I think it's one of these fancy component testers. This one's got rotary encoder switch. Right, this came from Alice Happy 858. It dates back to February the 6th, and it's a DIY kit, Mega 328 transistor tester, LCR, so that's inductance, capacitance, resistance, capacitance, ESR, equivalent series resistance, meter, frequency, signal. So it's sort of the latest generation, one of these component testers. That's no longer a link, so I'm just going to go to Alice Happy 858 and see if she or he is still selling this particular item. Let's do that now. Right, so yes, this is actually the item I purchased. So this is the exact same one. It's a DIY kit. Well, I've read that already, haven't I? Yeah, so it's $11.55 for this kit, free shipping from Alice Happy 858. Now I say this is the very latest version. Of course, this was bought several months ago now, so maybe there are new versions, I don't know. It is a very late version unit. Let's have a look a bit further down this listing. Right, so there's an enormous amount of information for this unit. It says the latest version can test the DS18B20, which I think is the Dallas Semiconductor temperature sensor, is that? I think that's that one-wire temperature sensor. DHT11, which is a humidity and temperature sensor, and an IR decoder. Solder yourself, 6.8 volts to 12 volts. Power, all about the ZIF socket, and then masses and masses of text with full descriptions of what it can test and what the procedure for switching it on and off and all that stuff are. There's the Dallas DS1820. But yeah, a whole mass of stuff. Oh, that's that infrared receiver, so it can test that as well. My goodness, there's a load of information here. Yeah, very good from the point of view of info provided. And so these are today's Postbag items, and I'm really looking forward to building this super capacitor powered Bluetooth speaker unit. Now, as usual, I want to say a huge thanks to everyone who supports Postbag videos via Patreon. Without those Patreon donations, Postbag would be a fairly minimal and reasonably infrequent affair. So massive thanks once again, particularly those people who pledge the higher amounts. I think there are a few $10 pledges, and there's even one $12 pledge, I believe, currently. So yes, if you'd like to become a Patreon supporter, only needs to be $1. That's absolutely fine. Then this here takes you through to my Patreon page. Another couple of videos up here if you want to watch more of my stuff, and if you want to subscribe to my channel, click my face here. Cheerio.